bro.
What the heck did you guys do?
Hello, everybody. It's that Large Cadino coming at you live from the Telling Dual Academy.
I'm Dragon Echo 0987.
I'm Nubcore, as I'm now deemed.
And I'm Joshua Dyson, probably the first VO I've ever in. So.
Alright, we are all not excited enough because guess what? It's Banlist season, and two things happened. Either Konami did a meta nuke, or they were conservative assholes again.
Now, be aware, me and Valk have not seen this ban list yet, so you're going to get our general reactions to this shit.
Well, that seemed like the first card on it, but if the first card didn't happen, I would have been disappointed anyway.
Alright, guys. So, I want to start off with the things that have been taken off the list, because when you see some of the things that have been banned, those are going to be the ones that are really that I think would be really interesting for you guys. So, things taken off the list are Exchange of the Spirit.
That errata, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Card's crap now.
It is.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the errata right now. Both players have 15 or more cards in their graveyards. I guess we're playing in a BA match. I guess.
Okay.
Temple of Kings has been taken off the list. It's now unlimited.
Cool.
I kind of don't know how I feel about Temple of the King being unlimited. Like, even though it got the errata, it still feels like, I don't know.
Yeah, you can activate one trap card the turn it was set. That part's not amazing. Sacred Sword of the Seven Stars has been unlimited.
So,
It was semi-limited.
Hello, Red Eye.
Balanced. Like,
That's
the card is
Probably.
balanced.
Yeah.
It was just
The Dragon
D-rollers.
Lord used it.
Sinister
Yeah.
Serpent been taken off the list, obviously because of the errata.
The card should have never been errata to begin with.
The errata made it suck.
Without the errata, it sucked.
Okay.
And,
Glow Up Bulb is now off the list.
And
Hello, Quasar.
nobody
Fine.
cares. It's once per duel. You wouldn't run more than one anyway.
Exactly.
That's basically the logic.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Anything that happened with 4. Okay, we're going to semi-limited now.
Yes, semi-limited stuff. Dragoons is back to 2. Atlantean Dragoons.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, really?
So, Mermails should be very happy.
Yes, they should be actually happy, even though I do not run Mermails.
I love
I didn't
Mermails.
expect her getting back at 2, to be honest.
I used to play Mermail, so yeah.
Now, I do want to skip ahead to one thing, because I think this kind of fits together. Dragoons becoming semi-limited. Also, Trish has been unbanned, and now it's just limited. It's limited to 1. Trish is back, baby!
We waited so long
I
for
know.
this day.
All praise Tula. All praise Tula.
We put a hand on their hearts for, like, the return of the car.
The dual terminals upon us.
It took a all it took was a broken deck wreaking havoc for 3 formats in a row, potentially
Exactly.
4 depending on the rest of this
It's
list.
like, okay, now we can abandon the original one.
Holy shit, those Trish is back. That makes me happy. Like, oh my god.
Is there anything else that's
So-
limited?
Oh man.
So the other semi-limited cards are Dragon Ravine, probably because
Yes.
Dragon Rulers are gone. I don't think
Yeah.
they'll come back for a long time. Dark Strike Fighter, I believe, is also
Perfect Fighter was unlimited. I think we
semi-limited.
missed that.
Oh, Dark
Yeah.
Strike Fighter is back off the list. It was limited.
Expect banned camp video again from Yugi Nation.
Yes.
Okay, so now newly limited, right? Besides Trish.
Let's see.
Noth-
Newly
nothing-
limited.
Newly limited is Sharit, Strategist of the Necros.
Wow.
What?
That just beats the crap out of Necros, especially with my favorite part of the ban list. Djinn Releaser of Rituals is now banned.
Okay, to be
Yes.
fair, I still feel like they should have banned Trish. As much as much as, like, people say that Trish isn't the best card of the deck, and it isn't, I'm still reserving that name for Valkyris. I still think the deck revolves too much around the fact that, hey, you get, like, this +2 sort of thing, and then you have to play around it too much, and then all of the deck's power plays kind of bleed off of Trish. I feel like once you get rid of Trish, the deck becomes less the deck loses that power play aspect, and it becomes just a lot more of a consistent beat down and control, which I think is what they should have done to begin with.
Yeah, I totally agree. Once you get rid of the power plays with Trish and all that stuff, it's just down to minor power plays with Valkyris and all that stuff, and stalling with cards like the Djinn Releaser of Ritual Lock.
And I think them banning the Djinn makes Necroz a whole lot less powerful than what it was, because they could sit behind the djinnlock and set up that Trish play. Now they can't do that anymore, and
Yeah, I
we can
agree.
special summon to respond to that.
Yeah,
I would not.
Djinn Lock pretty much is just you use the Djinn to summon out the level 3 ritual and just stall for turns.
I find it interesting how Necroz was actually one of the decks that started to care the least about the djinnlock because they were remaining like 1 to 3 road, not 3 road. They remain like 1 to 2 road and like bull bladers and some ran DD warrior ladies for the heck of it.
Yeah,
So,
like I think
anything else?
Konami was kind of late on this ban, because now we're at the point where we have outs to it, and we know, okay, this is the probably one of the better outs to the djinnlock.
and all this means now is that the Necroz players are probably just going to start teching out the Rhodas because of the loss of Shurit and the Djinlock, teching out the Bull Bladers, shoving in more consistency stuff, maybe some more like power play stuff. And
Now I'm kind of looking at some of the other Djinns that are in here, because I'm trying to see if there might be any other like
none of them
Djinn-
were as good as Releaser. Releaser was stupid.
other than Djinn Demolisher of Rituals. I don't think you would really see any other ones, just
I don't
because
think, I don't think you would
Demolisher
even see
prevents it from
Demolisher.
being targeted by the card effects of the other player.
But even then, like you look at something like Gungnir, which is supposed to do, or no. Targeting is Trish. I think stupid. No, Gungnir is destroyed, right? Yeah,
Gungnir is destroyed. I think Trish is targeted.
Yeah, it is. It is.
And now we got a new band. I just saw this. Apparently, the Volvo Chain is now in Bandcamp.
The Volvo chain is gone.
ARG, what did you do? What did you foreshadow?
ARG!
Hold on. I'd like to point something out. I don't care what people say about the Volvo Chain. I still think the card is okay.
Yeah,
I
me
think a lot of what got abused from the Volvo Chain were two things, which was the djinnlock and the upcoming Clownblade engine. Clownblade engine is more than like Clownblade engine is a Clownblade problem, please. And then djinnlock was a djinnlock problem. And I feel,
Yeah, this, I totally agree. This is the same problem that happened with Super Poly. Super Poly was an alright card, but then Stratos just abused the shit out of it and caused it to get banned.
I mean,
Yeah.
to be fair though, even Super Poly had a differentiation of being like this kind of really silly card in theory, right? And then I feel like the same could be said for what's that other card that got banned? Because Super Poly was a really, really silly card in theory. The same as Jin, actually. Jin and Super Poly are both really silly cards in theories, right? Like, one is a monster form of a one-sided vanities. Like, one of them is basically an enabler of a ritual version of Vanity's Empress or Emperor, I forget which it is. And Super Poly is basically like a removal you cannot respond to that nets you a plus if you look at it like that. So it kind of falls down to like they're kind of always on the edge until a deck kind of walks around and they're kind of like, hey, we can actually use these now to some varying form of effectiveness, and boom, they're broken.
Mhm.
Yeah. But yeah, this always ticks me off whenever there's a deck that abuses a certain card that I use in my decks just for pluses, and then it causes me to change up my strategy like that. Like, for example, my Volcanic deck, it has 2 evolvable chains in it right now, just for the mill effect.
Like
I
I
just
had
noticed, like, rest in peace, my rest in peace, zombies.
Rest in peace zombies. Yeah.
Yes, my zombies are going to die because of this. They're going to die again because, well, really I just used 2 evolvable chains in this deck, but again, evolvable
Oh no.
Like, the Lavolvo chain would have really made me upset if this had been, like, 2 formats ago when I had just joined the Academy, because that's when I had the BLS teched into my Masked Heroes, and I used to use the Volval chain with Alias and Shadow Mist to search the BLS, and then the Volval chain would die, so I have the light and the dark in my graveyard to banish. But since I took that out, I'm not as upset about it, but the Volval chain isn't a broken card.
No, it isn't in my opinion
It
either.
just power creeped out.
Yeah, it was power creeps to the hell and back by the djinnlock and the clown blades.
I mean, I don't know. I'm a little iffy on the Volvo chain stance. I don't think it should have been bad.
Me neither. I thought if it should have been hit, it should have been at least either limited or semi-limited.
Limited would have done nothing. Limited maybe would have done something. See, here's the weird thing I had with the Volvo chain, right? It's like a foolish burial on wheels, and while at first that doesn't sound too bad, right? Because I mean, like foolish burial, people don't even consider it that good of a card anymore. I mean, even Chaos has stopped running. A lot of Chaos decks have even stopped running foolish burial at this point. The thing about it is that Lavolval chain almost always becomes a plus just because of the nature of it. You have essentially a double dump because it's an Xyz. So it starts the borderline silly, but I still think it's not a card that should have been hit now of all times. Especially not with Clownblade coming to the TCG yet. I don't think it's coming yet, right? Is Clownblade coming this format?
I do not know.
It shouldn't be. I think it's just Nodin coming this format.
Yeah, I believe Norden slash Norden coming with the new 10.
That gives me an excellent question for you guys. What's going to happen to Instant Fusion now that Nodin is coming out?
Or the Instant Fusion versus Nodin debate.
Yeah, that's. I'm expecting maybe Instant Fusion to hit.
Because
I'm
we
guessing
were
Instant
talking
Fusion might be
about
limited.
Super Poly and now the Volval chain getting banned just because other decks have found ways to abuse it. What's going to happen now with Nodin and Super Poly? Or not Super Poly, Instant Fusion.
Okay, now hold on. Here's the thing about this. This is a debate that I find very different to Lavolval Chain versus the other stuff because I feel like Lavolval Chain was a scapegoat hit. I don't feel Instant Fusion will be scapegoat if they did it because the thing about Instant Fusion is that it's always been, again, one of those silly cards in theories. And Noted seems like really stupid, right? You know, like, oh my god, I can go Instant Fusion into free rank 4 or free Synchro because I paid 1,000 life points, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you look at it and you're like, well, hold on. What if Instant Fusion didn't exist, and then Nodin becomes this really shitty card that you're almost never going to resolve to any reasonable success. And you could say the same about, like, you know, any scapegoat hit, but it doesn't work the same because usually with scapegoats hits, you're still left with, like, the core of the problem, which is always going to be the original broken thing. Like, you get rid of Lavolval Chain, Clownblade is still an issue. You get rid of Lavolval Chain, then djinnlock is kind of a thing. It really isn't in a way because the djinnlock combo kind of wanted Lavolval Chain around, but you could still do it technically.
I totally agree with you, Val. My main hits that I wanted from the ban list was Royal Magical Library because we're having Chicken Race and Ignites coming in because Royal Magical Library in and of itself is just a really broken card, especially considering those two decks.
Well, if you're talking about Chicken Race, you should ban the main card instead. But the Konami logic is ban every other card besides the main cards.
Here's the problem: if you ban the monster, Chicken Race becomes pretty much useless.
To be fair, Chicken Race is still a little silly because
Everybody
Chicken Race
complains
and Royal
about
Magical Library.
Royal Magical Library only being used for FTK or OTK decks. That's the reason why it needs to get banned, is because that's the only reason it's ever used.
Yeah, and one of my wanted for the ban list was that was Patelmayos, because if they wanted to hit Clownblade, you should have hit their main combo. Hit Patelmayos or Infinity, boom, you're good. Clownblade becomes just a generic rank 4 spam deck.
To be fair, even without Clownblade around, its stance is basically the most pampered.
Yeah, Patelmayos is any deck that can rank 4 summon the ability to summon Infinity.
Yeah, and then it just like the Konami basically just goes like, hey, rank 4s already have the best arsenal. Let's pamper them even more by giving them health.
These cyber dragons. What would you feel like if either Infinity or Ptolemaeus got hit?
Wait, what?
If Ptolemaeus, the new Ptolemaeus hit, what would your reaction be? Since you use cyber dragons a lot.
Well, if the Platero Knight got hit, I wouldn't really mind, but it would like damper like some decks that I use. But Infinity got hit, it would slow down my deck and give me more chances to get out of things instantly.
Yeah, because Infinity in and of itself is just an uber card. It's pretty much just a freaking. It's an Arc and a Quasar had a baby.
That's what I said.
I mean, like, realistically, even if Infinity is a really stupid card in the deck, I mean, Chronomaly and Cyber Dragons are the only decks that can realistically get it out, and is like fun as both those decks are right now. They have no place in the meta, not even as rogue. I think Cyber Dragons top for Infinity, but then like they just fell off because Ptolemaeus was better. So I mean, like you get rid of Ptolemaeus, and Infinity just becomes this boss monster for like one, maybe two decks, and that doesn't even do anything anyway.
I totally agree. And now here comes wants from the Banlist that I wanted ever since I heard that it was coming out soon. Please, Konami, why is Stratos still banned?
Don't start the Stratos argument. Why are we showing the Stratos argument?
Now,
Yeah,
what I think would have
Stratos
happened if they had unbanned Stratos, or even like just limited Stratos, made Stratos limited, I think you would have either seen Rhoda or E-Call get hit, or even Shadow Mist get hit from that. So you got to take into consideration the consequences of what would happen if Stratos got unbanned. And I don't think near as many hero players would want him to be unbanned if they knew what might end up happening because it got unbanned.
To be fair, in my opinion, if Stratos ever came unbanned, I don't even feel like it would affect the current status of the hero deck much because you look at the hero deck now and like, yeah, Stratos would be nice because we technically do have wind masked heroes. Yeah, people remember those. But
yeah, we have Divine Wind and we have
Blast is OCG right now, but
I actually forgot Divine Wind existed for a second. But like, no, here's the thing. Stratos, what it does, it really doesn't contribute to the strategy as much anymore because Hero has
the strategy is grab a mask change.
Shifted from a power play OTK deck into more of a helmet deck with Dark Law, and it's better that way. It honestly is. I mean, Heroes have been performing better than they ever have in the past, even better than no, not better than Airblade Turbo. That deck was stupid. But we're not talking about Stratos coming back to 3. So I feel like if Stratos came back, the only be a hit on a Hero Lives, but a Hero Lives is a stupid card to begin with. I think that realistically, a Hero Lives, in my opinion, should have gotten a hit over Stratos anyway.
I think that Konami was basing the results on the OCG tourneys that were happening in Japan, where Stratos was being teched in with like a hero engine was being teched in everywhere, in practically like the majority of the decks in that format, and they took those results. They're just like, Stratos, you're still banned.
So I think that's all the time we have for this video, if it's ever going to process in any amount of time. So thanks for watching, everybody. Drop a like if you leave a like. Those thumbs up definitely help out. Subscribe if you feel it was worth it.
This has been the Mod Squad.
Like if you cry every time because Stratos is still banned.
Rip Stratos.